May is finally here and I'm so excited. April was such a good month. I had so many things going on and I just feel like May is gonna be another good month. We'll see. The sun came out a lot more. I was able to get outside. I felt the seasonal depression going away a lot. Like I just feel like a whole new person and it's just so crazy, but it's a good reminder for me for this year is to just remember that things might get rough. It's just temporary. Gardening season is around the corner for me here. So I'm gonna start planting some seeds inside. I have this little contraption and I actually have already planted some seeds in here and they just have not taken except for, I finally have one little sprout here. These are seeds from last year and my mom planted her seeds and they did way better. So hers are already like fully coming up. Google said I can use seeds from last year, this year. As long as they weren't like baking out in the sun, they should be fine. But I have a feeling that maybe that was wrong and maybe I shouldn't have done that. So I got new seeds and I'm gonna plant some of those. I got some green beans, some peppers, some big tomatoes, and some little tomatoes. So those are like the main things I will be doing and I'm just gonna pop them in here while I start talking to you. So I feel like April was the first month that I actually achieved my goals. So I don't know if that meant my goals were too small or I actually just was getting things done. Like I feel like it was a simultaneously super busy month, but I also didn't get anything done. Like it just feels like both of those things are true. So it really took me looking back at what I did this month to realize, oh yeah, you actually did things. I had a goal to upload 100 designs to Cricut and I did that. I actually uploaded over 150 designs to Cricut. I feel pretty good about that. Some of them were simple designs, but that's okay. I think simple does well and there's a time and place for everything. I wanted to just be consistent with designs and thought for this month I wanted to just get back into the groove of designing. So I didn't put too much pressure on myself to make these like the most extravagant things in the world. I had a goal of uploading 1 to 2 videos to my YouTube channel and I did that every week except for one. And I feel like I had a good reason for that because my next goal was to substitute teach 4 days this month and I did do that. There was a reason why I couldn't get to everything and I guess I'm not mad about it. If you watch my video from last week, I kind of go into like everything about substitute teaching. So if you're curious about that, I do have a video talking about my experience. It was kind of draining for me and I don't think it's going to be something I'll do all the time now. I don't know if it's for me. The last goal I set for myself was to post on my dog's YouTube channel 1 to 2 times in the entire month, and I did do that. Some of my goals for May are to upload 150 designs to Cricut. Last month I did over 150, so I want to kind of set the bar to be the same as what I was able to do last month. It's gonna probably be my goal every single month to keep designing, but I really want to push myself to hit 150 minimum. I just think that the more you upload, the more likely you are for your designs to be used, so I need to work on that a little bit more. I want to continue on with a minimum of 1 video a week on my channel. For me, keeping a habit for this long is huge, so I really don't want to break it because I know the second I go 2 weeks without posting a video, it's just gonna be downhill from there. And yeah, so I want to keep up with that and just not lose my ambition and my spark. I would also like to post 1 to 2 videos for the entire month to my dog's channel. I had one stupid video blow up. I mean, relatively speaking. He has 200 subscribers and most of his videos get like 50 views for like a week or 2, which is not bad. I post those mostly for me to look back on. This video got 650 views in like the first day and a half it was posted. I don't know what happened. I don't know why. It was a silly, stupid little video and it took me 10 minutes to film, less than an hour to edit, and it got that many views. So I want to keep doing videos for him. I started a coloring book last month and it was kind of just a spur of the moment idea because I've been coloring so much lately. I'm like, why don't I make my own? Why did I not think of this? And I do have coloring pages on my website, but I've never made a coloring book myself, like an actual coloring book, even a digital version of all of my coloring pages. So I was like, what am I doing here? Might as well. I got started thinking about what I would want in a coloring book. I feel like I've been given a lot of perspective on coloring in the last few months because I've been doing so much of it. I kind of know what I want, and I'm just gonna put it out there that I strongly dislike, this is not a coloring book, so I'm not gonna shit on anyone. I strongly dislike when the design goes all the way to the edge and it's not a spiral. And as a lefty, you can't color it. It's so frustrating because my hand's like butting up to the end and I can't do anything about it. I have to turn the book all the way upside down and color upside down if I want to color that inside part. So if you have like glue bound books and not spiral, that is definitely something to consider. That even as a righty, that's gonna be more difficult, but as a lefty, it's impossible and it's frustrating. So if you're gonna do a full pattern design, I would just do a border. I know for the aesthetics, you might not like that as much, but it's a little bit easier to work with. Also, I'm learning that I don't like super complicated designs. It's too stressful for me. I want coloring to be very easy and thoughtless. I like the more simple designs, even if it kind of feels silly coloring something that simple, but it's just easier for me. And coloring's supposed to be relaxing. So my coloring book's gonna have those two things in consideration. I'm really excited for that. I will take you on the journey of that once I get a little further in the process. I also want to finish the business resources I've been working on. I have a bunch that I want to do, and I think the reason I'm getting hung up on it is I want to have mini resources and then like a big one that combines all of them and then has some extra things in it, so it'll be like the full collection of it. And so I can't finish that until these pieces are done, and some of these pieces are done but not all of them, and so I'm getting hung up on the ones that aren't done because then I can't move on to this, and it's just a thing. Welcome to ADHD. I kind of haven't worked on that in a while, and so I need to prioritize that this month and really get those done so I can just finally have them done and stop talking about it. So I think that's it for the May goals. Now it's time for the fun part of these monthly reset videos, and that's to talk about my favorite things from the month. This one's gonna be a long one. I'm just warning you now. There's a lot to talk about. But first up is my new camera. I got a new camera. I got the Sony ZV-1, and I made a full video unboxing it, comparing it to my iPhone, comparing it to my other camera. So if you want to see the full side-by-side comparison of this camera to my iPhone, and like the mics and audio and stuff, check out the video that I will have linked up above and probably in the description as well. I made a full video. I'm really proud of the video. I learned how to do a split screen on Premiere Pro, and I had to sync up the videos at the exact same time, crop it, and put them side by side. And I'm so impressed with myself. That video took forever to edit because I had to adjust the mics and turn one on and off when I was talking about each microphone, whatever. It was a long process to edit it, and I'm very proud of the video. And if you are looking for a new camera, whether it's for vlogging or it's just because, I highly recommend this video. It's very beginner friendly, very easy to use, and I feel like it's very good quality even though it's beginner friendly. This is a camera charger, and I can charge 3 batteries at one time, and this is external from the camera, so I can just plug this into the USB and charge 3 batteries at one time. It's so convenient, and it has little lights that tell you like which % each battery is at, so then you know which one to pull from. If you need to pull one from here, you can know which one is the one that's done. Definitely recommend getting that if you do get a Sony ZV-1 camera. Okay, so buckle up. I'm gonna just warn you here now, if you don't want to hear me talk about a bunch of books, skip to the next section. I will have this video sectioned off. I started off the month by going up north to a Airbnb with my mom, stepmom, and my sister, and we just had a reading weekend, and we didn't take anything else but our phones, our Kindles, our iPads to color, and a bunch of books. So that was really fun, really relaxing, and I wish I could do it every single month because that was such a needed breakaway from reality. But I was able to finish Bad Blood, which is the 4th book in the Natural series, and I had it as a physical book, and if you know me, I am an audiobook and a Kindle girly. I really struggle with physical books because I can't take it everywhere with me, and it's harder to hold, so I can't read it at night and all the things that come along with physical books. I much prefer the Kindle books. I just kept forgetting about this book, but that's not to say I didn't love the series or anything. I just kept forgetting I owned it. I think it wrapped up very nicely. If you're into FBI shows, I would highly recommend the Natural series. I also read Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, and boy do I have thoughts. Fourth Wing I actually enjoyed. I gave it a 4-star. Now that I've read ACOTAR a little bit further, I see the critiques of Fourth Wing just being a copycat, I do see where those are coming from now. I'm just gonna say, Fourth Wing, I overall enjoyed it, but a lot of it fell flat for me. And the conversation felt very juvenile. I think the main characters are 18 and 19, and it felt like I was reading a 13 and 14-year-old conversation sometimes. That part just really bothers me. Dragons were the star of the show with book 1. Which is why book 2 sucked. Everyone and their brother was saying that book 2 sucked because the writing got worse, but I read these books back to back and the writing did not change at all. So if you didn't like the writing style in book 2, you didn't like it in book 1 either, you just didn't complain about it. It's the exact same writing. There was just so much talking in Iron Flame and it got nowhere. We had the same fight over 10 times. It was insane. I don't think anyone wants to read the same exact fight that many times. Twice, max. I felt like this book was just trying to hit a word count and not actually like providing value with the words written. Oh my gosh, it was a struggle to finish. And the thing I loved most about book 1 was the dragons. Those were not in book 2 nearly as much, and when they were annoying and mean, and they were not the dragons that we loved from book 1. And the ending was just so out of left field that what's the point of continuing with the series? You've ruined every single character in the book. Violet was the most annoying, whiny brat I've ever had to listen to. Like, I want a strong female lead. Do not give me a wimpy female lead all of a sudden. So, moving on to something more fun. I read Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez, and I loved this book so much. It's book 2 in the series, and I didn't really know that. It can be read as a standalone. Now that I've read the first book, I wish I would have read these in order because I think I would have liked them a little bit more. So yes, I've also read Part of Your World, and I did enjoy that one. I just enjoyed Yours Truly a little bit more. But Yours Truly was just so cute. And when I tell you, these books made me appreciate my husband so much more. Like, these books had me thinking, wow, that is exactly how my husband is, or he does this, this, and this. Like, he's similar to these characters, and it made me appreciate him so much more. And I'm just so thankful that I have someone who is so kind to me. The main character in Yours Truly had anxiety, and I've never seen that written in a way that felt realistic and not cringy or over the top or just I don't know. It was written really well. The anxiety was portrayed in a way that I related to a little bit too much. There's some parts that I'm like, yeah, I've done that. I've thought that. I can see why he's spiraling and thinking that. Like, none of it felt far-fetched to me. It felt really realistic. And that was really good to see that it was written that well. So I really, really enjoy Abby Jimenez's writing style. I think she writes her characters with a little bit more depth than typical romance novels. It's not heavy on the spice. There is some plot and there's depth to the characters, and you actually really care for them. And I enjoyed both books a lot. I definitely recommend those if you're looking for a lighthearted, fun read. I'm reading Just for the Summer right now, and I've heard very good things about that, so I'm excited to read that. Okay, now I'm gonna start my next puzzle of the month. It felt like it was perfect for this month. I'm making my own garden, so perfect time to do this. So that's the puzzle I'm gonna work on right now, and I'm gonna finish talking about the other books that I read. Okay, we're gonna start off rough. After reading Yours Truly, which was a 5 out of 5, I read The Teacher. This was so bad. I know there's so much hype for Frida McFadden. I know there's so much hype for The Teacher in general. Don't read it. It is so uncomfortable. Trigger warning for two teachers having sex with students. That is nowhere to be found in the trigger warnings. No one is talking about this. So many people are saying how much they love this book and how it was just Frida does it again. This book is so amazing. How do you read this book and feel comfortable? How do you read this book and enjoy your time reading it? I'm talking 16-year-olds, not 18-year-olds. It was so overhyped. That book really frustrated me. I followed that up by listening to A Court of Mist and Fury. If you know how much I disliked ACOTAR, you know this is probably shocking that I actually continued on, but I did. I was like, you know what? I just need something, and that was available, and so I listened to it immediately after finishing The Teacher, and it was so much better than book 1. It was also so much better than The Teacher. I ended up giving it a 3.5/4. There were some parts that I felt like Sarah J. Maas was just trying to add word count. I just feel like these fantasy writers are trying to hit a word count, and maybe they are. Maybe there's a requirement that it needs to be so long. It gets to a point where you can tell that they are adding words in just for that, and it's very annoying. Right after finishing Mist and Fury, I went on to read or listen to Wings and Ruin. I think I gave that one a 4 stars as well. So that one I enjoyed a lot more. Yeah, they just kept getting better. And then afterwards I read The Fury by Alex something or other. It's taking longer than I thought it would. Oh, straggler. Okay, we're all empty, all empty. I think I'm just learning that I don't like narrated murder books because last month, if you remember, I read a book that also was narrated and I DNF'd it, and I probably should have DNF'd this one. The only reason I didn't was because my mom read it while we were up north and she told me to keep reading it. She said it didn't really get better, but she told me to keep reading till the end. So I did, and it didn't get better. It actually just was so stupid. And so I'm just learning. I mean, that's all reading is. You're learning your style, you're learning your preferences, and the more you read, the more you learn. And I'm learning, despite the hype of any book, I should never read a narrated murder book because it just, 2 out of 2 books that I have despised. Well, okay, despise is quite extreme, but 2 out of 2 books that are narrated in that style have not vibed well with me, so why would I think other ones would? Find Her was the next book I read. There was a rape victim who was raped for 470 days, so over a year. She was abducted and this was going on, and it starts off with that, and we kept going back in time to those scenes, and I just didn't think it was necessary to keep reliving that trauma. As a reader, we could probably infer that she had some trauma without having to live it. So long story short, that girl gets taken again and she kills her abductor, and the detective on the case is mad at the victim for killing the person because she was being attacked and out of self-defense killed him. She was mad because she couldn't get answers from him. And instead of just listening to the victim and having any sympathy for the victim, she just complained the entire book about this girl and had no ounce of sympathy. It was just kind of an uncomfy read, I guess I would say. And the detective was just making some stupid remarks, so I wouldn't read that one. But I'm currently reading Just for the Summer. It's already starting off good, so we're ending the month off on a good note, a happy note, and that's all you can ask for, right? So another thing I do each month is a puzzle of the month, and I'm working on the greenhouse garden one that you've seen already. But last month was it's just called Floret. It's a little like flower shop with a yellow lab, so I got it because I have a yellow lab, obviously. But these are the same artist, so they go hand in hand. But that was last month's puzzle, and I really enjoyed it. It wasn't super difficult to finish, but it wasn't also like so easy that I got it done in one sitting. I like a little bit of a challenge, but not too challenging, where it takes me months and months to finish the puzzle. Then I just get annoyed. The last thing on my favorites list is seeing all my plants start growing. It's just the best time of the year when everything starts to bud and come out of the ground, and it's really fun. And yeah, I just love seeing everything start to bloom. I also have a robin who's laying eggs near my garden, so I get like a front row seat to seeing her lay a new egg every single day. And now for the last like 3 days, she's been incubating them, I'm pretty sure, because she has been on that nest nonstop. So that's really exciting for me. I've never had a robin lay eggs in a spot where I could actually watch them. I know this is such a silly thing to be excited about, but I got a set of new pens. They write really good. So they have black ink, but the issue was some of the notebooks I have like a rougher texture, so pens have a harder time writing. But this one, I can write super fast, super light, and I don't have to like press super hard to get it to go. And it's just nice and smooth and doesn't skip. I was trying out these ones from Amazon, the Amazon basic ones, and these have been pissing me off so much. Because look at that. They were great at first. They were better than what I had on hand. I couldn't have any of that anymore. So I got these. They are fun and colorful. And yeah, perfect. That's all I've got for you today. I will see you next time. Bye.